Do coin grading companies gift grade the bigger dealers or their friends and family? In other words, if I know somebody at PCGS or NGC or Annex personally and we're friends and they really like me, do they give me better grades? Or if I spend millions of dollars over the course of a certain amount of time with PCGS or NGC, do they give me the grades, the top pop grades, the better grades? We're going to talk about that in this video because it's very important here. This is an important subject. This is something I hear a lot in the comments. I hear it all over the internet. Let's just say this. There is no proof that would stand up in the court of law or a jury trial that makes that true. That would pass muster and convict anyone at PCGS or NGC. Another thing is that all these years, since 1980s, the mid-80s, we've had how many graders who have graded coins at all these grading companies? Some of them have become dealers. Some of them have retired. There's probably some of them that's still grading or in the business in some capacity. And you mean to tell me there's not just at least one person that they upset so bad or fired or whatever that they didn't whistleblow? I mean, there's whistleblowers protection. If they're fraudulently and purposely overgrading or giving gift grades to certain people because of being friends or spending money there, someone is going to whistleblow that and be able to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And there would be more than one. It's been a long time. We're talking 40 years, 40 some years. But there's some other information to look at too, and we're going to do that. My name is Daniel, and you're watching Coin Help You. Thanks for watching my latest video. There's a couple of things I want to talk about before we get into this population reports and talking about if PCGS or the grading companies give gift grades. I have a help community if you have questions about coins or just questions in general. It's in the description of this video and in a pinned comment. Also, my website, portsmouthcoinshop.com. We have a lot of coins over here on my website. We have the scratch and dent bags. We have complete piece dollar collections. We have the new flowing hair metal graded by PCGS. We have loose Morgan dollars, ungraded Morgan dollars, graded Morgan dollars, piece dollars. We also have these silver rounds. Now we have the deal going on these silver rounds. This is cheaper than SD bullion. This is credit card prices, no sales tax. Some of these are really older rounds. We purchased these from a dealer who bought them over the counter, and we were able to buy them a pretty good deal to be able to resell them. And some of these are going to have a premium on them. Some of these are worth, some of them probably should put up by themselves. So anyways, if you get a chance, come over here to portsmouthcoinshop.com and check it out. Okay, so first things first, this is the PCGS population report. Now what I'm going to focus on, I could use any coin I want, but I'm going to use Lincoln cent memorials from 1959 to 2008. And the reason is that there are just billions and billions and billions of these out there. You can find rolls and rolls and rolls of these, mint sewn bags of these. That people spend them, they don't even know what to do with them. They might sell them as, unsearched rolls. I've got rolls and rolls of coins like this. And since that's the case, if I'm a dealer and I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars at PCGS or NGC, sending in bulk submissions after bulk submissions, I'm going to send in my rolls of memorial cents. I'm not going to worry so much as long as they reach 60% of my lowest grade, so I'm going to say 63. Most rolls are going to be 63 to 65 and probably some lower than 63. That's just how the cookie crumbles when it comes to these coins, the way they were handled. So you're looking at rolls that definitely are probably going to be 60-some percent 63. So you send them all off, pay your fees, hope that you get some 67, 66s. But if at least 60-some percent of them go over mint state 63, then you still just pay the whatever fee it is. Whatever fee you come up with, because you have to be approved to do certain bulk submissions. You have to have a certain membership at NGC. I'm not sure I haven't sent off the PCGS, but I do have a membership there too. But you have to have the submission that allows for that. And sometimes you have to approve it, but there's just, all you have to do is contact them. I'm going to send so many in, and they'll say, okay, or after a while though, you know how to do it and you'll just start sending them in. I know there's dealers that do. I worked for a dealer in California who was on the board of directors for PCGS, and man, they sent coins. They had an employee drive to Long Beach and hand deliver coins at least twice a week to PCGS. I mean, they sent hundreds of coins a week and spent tens of thousands of dollars just to get that grade. And he was on the board of directors. He didn't get the grades. They knew him too. They knew when his submissions came in. They knew exactly who he was. They talked to him. The graders knew him. PCGS knew him. David Hall knew him. Dave Hall called him a mentor. But he didn't get those grades. So I've got a little bit of experience here. Now I want to interject here because I want you to look and see my eyes. I am not exaggerating when I say this, but that dealer in California, and I could name his name, it's Joel Two Rare Coins. He had the walls of his coin shop lined with those black two-door cabinets, lockable cabinets, and every one of them was filled with PCGS holders, and those PCGS holders were filled with coins, and they were mostly modern coins with mint state 69 on them and 68. Rarely did he get the 70 that he was looking for. I mean, he got it enough times because of the math, the sheer math of him sending so much that he sent, or as much as he sent. But he's told me, he looked at me and he said, man, how can I sell all these? What am I going to do with all these? eBay fees are killing me. Literally. So I do know a little bit what I'm talking about here. Just a little bit. You know, until someone comes up with proof that they're gifting grades to the more, to their friends, family, or to the larger dealers, the richer people, then you can't say that's true. It's empirically false. It's false. It's not the facts. So let's take a look over here. So we have the population report brought up for the memorial cents. Here is the price guide. And here's the population report. Easy to get them confused. But let's look at 1959. Literally in red. When we look at the red values, that's where the value is going to be for these. You have 39 in mint state 67. But after all these years, since 86, you mean to tell me that not one dealer, one buddy dealer didn't get a 68 or a 69 or a 70? Now I know 70s are probably out of the question because they'll tone up. There's no guarantee. You can't. It's just so difficult to put 70 on a Lincoln cent. It has happened. I think there's an 86 and there's one other one that's a 70, but there's not very many in the modern Lincoln cents. There's just a couple. But you mean to tell me that, you know, after all these years, so they only got 39 buddies plus 4, so basically 43 buddies after all these years that they gifted 67 to? Is that what we're talking here? What about this one here? So they give one 68 and 59D. So that's it. They're just choosing and picking the buddies they give these to. I don't believe it. Sorry. That's not how it's working. If they were doing that, there would be more grades in this area and there would be more grades here. You wouldn't just see this many in that many years. Think about it for a minute. Even over a 10-year period, you got people spending millions of dollars at your company, sending in bulk submissions, and you're only going to gift a handful of them. I mean, there's lots of dealers sending coins and sending rolls and rolls and bags, bulk submissions. All you got to do is assign a minimum grade, meet, I think it's 60% on, like I said, NGC does it a certain way, and PCGS does another way. You're going to have to look it up or contact them about it. But anyway, if they meet that mint state 63 minimum grade, then anything above that, you might pay a percentage, like so much on the coin, but overall, you're just going to pay a flat fee where it's $10, $13 or whatever to have your coin graded. It's really cheap, depending on how many you send and what kind you send. But you have to send one denomination. They can be different dates and mints, but it has to be at least 100, I know. But they're sending a lot more than that. And you can look down through all of these here and see that they're not awarding that many. They're not awarding enough to account for all the bulk submissions and all the dealers out there. And you can say, well, you know, it's great inflation is one thing, but they're watching what they do and they control these populations. I mean, you can say that. It sounds good. It sounds right because, you're like, look at this, man. They only want certain ones. Here's the values. Certain ones will be worth this much because if you start grading them higher than this, then guess what? The registry sets start going down in value. People get upset. Well, I mean, it makes sense, but there's no proof that's going on. I mean, look at this one right here. 1962, graded 68. So let's look at the population report for the 62. And this is important. Look into it. Do your own research. Come up with your own decisions. Don't listen to what people say. There's only one 68. Okay, and that's why it's worth what it's worth. $10,000. So the problem that we face, and we see it all the time, they don't protect these population reports. And the reason I say that, it's no different than the U.S. Mint trying to protect their values for their coins. I mean, people, when a new grade comes out, a new high grade comes out, a new top pop comes out, or a new coin from the U.S. Mint comes out, and if it's going to be a lower mintage, people will pre-buy it higher than what it's going to be worth later on, almost all the time. It's almost every time. Or even after it comes out, there's a lot of hype, and they'll pay for it. This happens all the time. This has happened for decades. You see heritage auctions where someone paid, thousands of dollars for a coin that's now only worth a couple hundred. Because when it first came out, that's what happened. So they're not trying to protect that, or they wouldn't let that happen. It's kind of crazy if you're a grading company and 10 years ago you grade a 68 and you refuse to grade another 68 because you're afraid of this one person that bought it. Their registry set's going to drop a couple thousand for that coin. No, they're not afraid of that. It would be more beneficial to them business-wise if they started awarding some of these grades to people and people knew they was probably going to get them. Basically, like, we're really looking hard. We need people to send their memorial cents in. We're trying to get some more top pops. If they advertise like that, man, they would get inundated with even more, even people that just have rolls that start sending them in. I mean, there's ways of doing this that would increase their business, but protecting the population reports is not going to benefit. Resubmissions and things like that would even happen. I mean, people who have a 67 red would keep submitting it until they get the 68 or even the plus grade. And then you've got PCGS here. These are lofty prices. I mean, these are prices that maybe something sold one time for, and PCGS hasn't lowered it. These are actually over retail, not what they're really going for. Like I said, maybe one of them sold for this much, but overall, you're not getting that much out of the ones that have multiple populations. If you've got 14 of them, you're going to have 14 plus people who want this coin in this condition, this grade. And if you don't, then it's going to start dropping in value. Initially when you grade a top pop, yes, there's the hype and it gets up to bidding and it makes news and people buy it and pay a high price for it. And then when another grade comes out in the same grade, another one comes out in the same grade, then the values start dropping. And that's just how this works. So no, I don't agree with people who say PCGS or the grading companies in general gift grades. Now, I'm not saying that it's never happened whatsoever. I'm not saying that at a coin show that they had this really rare coin and somebody thought, man, I think it's good. I think this guy's right. And, because he trusts him and they've been dealers for a long time, or maybe even work with him at the coin, at the coin grading company, or even own the coin grading company at one time or a part of it. I'm not saying that's never happened, but for regular submissions on a daily basis, a lot of times they don't even know who the submitter is. It's not even about that. It's just you're grading the coins. And they're supposed to be using a committee grading, agreeing on it. It's not that it's mistake-free because it's human. Humans make errors. That's just the way it works. But no, I do not think, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that any of the grading companies are giving friends and family or rich dealers the better grades. Just the math doesn't show it. Populations reports don't show it. All the decades that PCGS and NGC and Annex have been grading coins, it just doesn't show that. I'm not seeing it myself. So anyways, thanks for watching my latest video. Please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.